This has become the way ALHADI HASSAN spends most of his afternoons since the 21-year-old returned home to Kadugli 2 months ago. He says drawing helps him temporarily forget his 5 years as a child soldier, which have scarred him mentally and physically.
I used to herd cattle, and soldiers came up to me and said I will join the army. They said I am no longer a civilian and that I became a soldier, and if I don't defend the village, women will be raped and killed. I used to fire RPGs and also record attacks to document them for the group.
ALHADI says he was 13 when the armed opposition known as the Sudan's People Liberation Movement North forced him to join their ranks. The SPLM has been fighting Sudanese government forces since 2011. The conflict has killed tens of thousands and displaced hundreds of thousands more. Most fled to neighboring South Sudan. The conflict became one of 3 in Sudan, all marred by human rights violations and atrocities. There's no exact numbers on how many child soldiers there are in Sudan, but rights groups say most are or have been part of armed opposition groups. And while recent reports suggest that none are in the ranks of Sudan's army, the reports show some are part of the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. Rights groups say the Rapid Support Forces recruited children after the war in Darfur, where they're accused of war crimes. The New York Times also reported that child soldiers are employed to fight for the Saudi-led coalition war in Yemen. Some as young as 14, paid as much as $10,000. And the Rapid Support Forces are accused of killing at least 100 pro-democracy protesters when their sit-in was attacked in Sudan's capital Khartoum 4 months ago. The RSF and Sudan's government deny recruiting children.
We've conducted training within the ranks of the Rapid Support Forces and have not recorded any use of child soldiers. And to avoid being accused of recruiting them, the RSF raised their enlistment age from 18 to 20. But some soldiers tend to have young looks and small bodies, so are mistaken for child soldiers.
The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, says that it's working with Sudan's new transitional government to verify soldiers' ages and will demobilize child soldiers if they find any.
There is a strong commitment in terms of the military of the nation. But we as UNICEF have been speaking with the RSF and we have gotten the same assurances that we can come in, that we can verify. It has begun, so it will be a question of access. So where there is access, we'll be able to verify.
ALHADI says he wants to rebuild his life, even though his recruitment meant he's missed out on getting an education. While he's yet to recover from his days as a child soldier, he's hoping his future isn't hindered by his past. Hiba, Al Jazeera, Kadugli, South Kordofan.